including assistant coaches at a number of top universities, were accused of bribery and fraud. They allegedly bribed players into attending a certain school in order to obtain branding deals upon going pro. One of the individuals that has become associated with the case is Louisville's former head coach, Rick Pitino, who has since been put on unpaid leave by the university. I'm joined by Manny, Tobe, and Jimmy Longo to sort everything out. Concerning Pitino, Manny, it's his third scandal, and he's already a Hall of Fame inductee. How does this affect his legacy, guilty or not?
Oh man, it definitely affects his legacy. I mean, if we just go through like his track record and like you said, the 3 strikes rule and you're out, well, this is his 3rd strike. I mean, he's already being suspended for something that happened, between 2010 and 2014 with the prostitution scandal.
But it's Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino is one of the greatest all-time college basketball coaches ever. Starting from Hawaii to Louisville, he's got 770 wins throughout that stretch. He's won the national championship twice. He has a bunch of awards, and he's also a Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah, but his resume isn't just the wins, the losses, and the trophies. It's like everything that he's been associated with, a lot of it has been bad, So even when he was in Hawaii and he had that first incident.
This is just a small blemish on his resume here. Like, he is from New York. He is a New Yorker. He is a tough guy. Though? This doesn't bother him at all.
It bothers him. It completely bothers him.
In the end, what is his legacy then?
One of the greatest coaches of all time. He's going to be up there with the greats.
A good coach, but he's troubled.
Well, along with schools, the individuals at Adidas are also in hot water after this week. Jimmy, how do you think this case will impact sponsorship deals for players going forward?
I don't think it will at all. When you look at Adidas, their stock, they've been up unbelievably since the past 5 years. And they've signed some major guys, especially in the NBA, James Harden, Damian Lillard, 2 big-time players. And I don't think this is going to affect them at all because coming out of college as a college athlete and Adidas comes up to you, knock on your door and says, hey, Jimmy, you would be a great candidate for us, as a sponsor. Yeah, you're going to look into it.
Yeah, but they're obviously starting to come at people a little bit early. I think we should really start having a discussion on whether college students, should have the opportunity to have sponsorships. A lot of the NCAA schools were like, we don't have enough money to pay the players. Well, how about we let the sponsorships? Ben Simmons, Nike really wanted Ben Simmons even before he was drafted.
There's a gray area here. Like, okay, for example, say if you have a #1 recruit on your team and he's sponsored by Jordan, what are you going to do with the walk-on on the bench? Are you going to have him signed by Jordan too? So there's a barrier here. It's not fair.
Yeah, but I guess that walk-on doesn't have, so many people, so much attention. A lot of people just on his back saying, you have the whole city.
But let me tell you here, any college athlete knows the process of getting there. And yeah, you might not be the greatest player ever, but you work just as hard as that #1 recruit to get to that position.
I don't know if it's just as hard as, like, let's say you're a Kobe Bryant, and you spend so much time in the gym compared to if, you're just on the team and, you've made the team. And I agree, they spend a lot more time in the gym than I have. But trust me, I don't think the numbers in terms of how much time Kobe spent and how much time someone else spent who's didn't really get drafted.
Well, obviously the case is still in its early stages, but Jimmy, when it's over, what do you think the impact of this case will be on college basketball as a whole?
This is going to be a major impact on college basketball because, as we're finding out, this happens more often than we think. And coming from that perspective, college athlete, if this is happening, a lot of people look at schools and say, oh, wow, they're sponsored by Jordan Brand or they're sponsored by Adidas. And they look at this as a big, big thing for them. That's a big plus at a school like that. So I think they take that into consideration. But now with this, they might be drawn back to that and look at other ways of why this school is good.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I think it's going to be a minuscule. Just because if you look at the NCAA and the tournament, how much money they make, this is a large business. And they've had, pretty, I guess, not important, but pretty large scandals as well. This isn't like their first rodeo. And a lot of people have kind of grown numb to the fact that the NCAA is in trouble again. Like me, when I heard the news, I was like, oh, okay, well, something else is going on. Rick Pitino, wow.
This is a big issue for NCAA because this is going to slow everything down. this train going full, speed.
But even you said it's a small blemish on Rick Pitino's level. Then
Well,
why is it a big mark
well,
on
the
his?
NCAA has to be
On the
very,
NCAA.
very careful with this because
I mean, even Rick Pitino is like the head of the scandal. Like when you think of the scandal, I don't know the other the other 10 people, but I do know Rick Pitino, and I do know, it will be a really important thing, from Rick
we
Pitino.
could talk about the other 10 guys.
I mean, either way, it seems like the NCAA has a lot of cleaning up to do. Coming up next, Matt will be joined by Joshua Toback and Cam Williams to discuss the Champions League. Stay tuned.